Right, welcome to Good Morning Nigeria. If you've just tuned in, you're right on time for the newspaper review.
Our newspaper reviewer is here, Chooks, the boy.
You can see that I'm in full evidence, you know. Hello, Victor. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You're the John Wayne of the studios this morning, aren't you?
I like the way you give me different names every day.
Well,
so that we can confuse the enemy.
Yeah, it's just that I'm negative. I am negatively productive when it concerns you. Demola, how are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great. Who is the enemy here?
Newspaper review.
Thank you. So we lead with the leadership. And the leadership leads with this story. 4 days of Abuja convention. Wike insists no faction in PDP. Turaki says reconciliation in progress. That's on page 4. Above that story is this tiny black strip. Kebbi. Gunmen ambush troops, killed 9 soldiers, 1 policeman. You get details of that on page 7. Above the nameplate, abductors of Kwara church worshippers demand 1 billion naira ransom. It's on page 6. In court affirms final forfeiture of $13 million traced to Aisha Achimugu's firm. It's on page 19. Below the nameplate, CBN bans foreign currency payments for diaspora remittances from May 1 is on page 7. And quickly to the side pieces here. Police charge 2 with murder of 19-year-old student Zubeidat Isa is on page 6. Court nullifies Union Bank Board's dissolution is on page 21. Parents, prospective core members fume as NYSC mobilization backlog worsens is on page 4. Kanu woman gives birth to 5 babies. Finally, from Kanu as well, many feared dead as pit collapses in Kanu is on page 23. Let's get you now to the blueprint. At APC zonal congresses of consensus, governors vow Tinubu's re-election. 2 riders, Akpabio upbeat, Giadom Kekemeke retains zonal chairmanship. Makinde, Wike PDP camps resume reconciliation talks. You get details of that on page 17. Above that story is a trio of stories, triple. Tinubu returns to Abuja after UK state visit, Salah festivities on page 6. Court voids CBN's takeover of Union Bank, orders full reversal on page 20. And in sports, friendlies, full house in Eagles camp as Ndidi arrives is on page 32. And above that story, of course, the suspects in court over Zubeidat's murder is also featured here. OPL 245, FG tackles Atiku over claims, insists resolution strategic. All right. And on the final set of stories, amid anguish, Iran receives U.S. 15-point plan to end Middle East war. Pakistan touted as likely mediator. Malaysia backs Iran. You get details of that on page 10. And to the final story I'll just take from here. Crude shortages threatening domestic fuel output. That's according to Dangote Refinery CEO. And you get details of that on page 20. Adebola.
Okay, thank you, Victor. I have the Vanguard newspaper with me, and just that's above the nameplate. Terrorist ambush troops kill 9 soldiers, policemen in Kebbi as government demand 1 billion naira ransom to free 8 Kwara abductees. Details of that story is on page 9. Queries, help, we are dying from pollution, Abuja communities cry out. Anti-immigrant protest, South Africans target Nigerians, others call for stricter border control. The story of the story can be found on page 6. How U.S.-Iran war drives crude oil prices up 85% to $130 per barrel. Wow, that's high. Then we have the major headline, 2027 Makinde-Wike camps move to save PDP. Those working against reconciliation identify a flush town. Turaki, Makinde, Bala stakeholders gave us mandates to reconcile. Then we have court nullifies CBN's takeover of Union Bank, says regulator acted beyond powers. 2027, all 6 geopolitical zones rally behind Tinubu as APC holds congresses. Details of that story is on page 5. Middle East crisis, UN-Iran offer counter proposals to achieve ceasefire. Details on page 8. Well, Chooks, it's over to you.
You know, I have this hesitation when it comes to discussing politics because they remain a clan of people I can't understand. I don't know how they what did you call it in secondary primary school? Medulla oblongata. I don't know how their medulla oblongata works, you know. But I'm just looking at this Turaki Wike assurance over there are no cracks anymore. So when they are through, since Wike is a die-hard supporter of Mr. President, is he going to ask the PDP to vote for Mr. President? Isn't that going to obliterate the party forever? Because just as I said the other time, my friend Ifeduku, he called me after the program, after one of our programs last week. Somebody told him that I mentioned him when I was a presenter on NBI. He told me that the PDP had hit the dinosaur scenario. The dinosaur got too big for its environment and had to die. So I said, I've been talking about you. Who told you? He said, they told me, that's why I called you. You know what he said next? He said, APC has to be careful. They too are beginning to make the mistakes that PDP made, and is in the APC. You know, politics is one game for people who are just daredevil players. I don't know how they do it. I praise them. Person when do what I don't do. I go praise about my brother.
But you're aspiring.
It's all about,
I'm aspiring.
Politician.
I think it's all about personal interest now.
Personal interest.
Yes.
Organizational ability. Because if you talk about good management, politicians are the best managers. The people you shot on the streets, politicians know how to go and harness them ahead of elections, even though they could abandon them 2 months after. They are wonderful human beings. And maybe I should devote a book to politicians.
Anyway, away from politics,
yes.
Now this one caught my attention. Parents, prospective core members fume as NYC mobilization backlog worsens. And I'm wondering why, because they have more windows now. It's not like when we had 1 or even maybe max 2. Now they have more windows.
They have more windows, but there are more universities and colleges of education and polytechnics.
The number of people who graduate on an annual basis, given the plethora of institutions.
But does it mean they take some people and leave the others? Because once you qualify, you qualify.
Well, the correct thing would be to batch them. If you're taking 24 people from 24, you must make sure that you start from the first people who applied, who came out, and batch it like that. You can't take somebody whose things came in far later than some people who posted their interest earlier. You must show that there is no discrimination in the process of selection. That's the point.
I know some gets delayed, maybe because you don't clear on time with the university. Your mates could leave you behind, and then you fall into the next batch. But when you say backlog,
no, but this one is an effective backlog. It is really a backlog. Backlog by the fact that they cannot accommodate all of them at the same time. Do you know that there are some institutions that need youth corps members, but will tell you, we can't even afford giving them 10,000 naira at the end of the month.
The stipend.
That's it. So I keep on saying it's an ill wind that blows no one any good. the economy seems to have done a lot of havoc to people's capabilities and abilities. That's what I think. And again, that is why I tend to applaud the, how many years ban?
About 15.
No, not, it's not
up to 15.
I think it's 7.
Is it
It's
7?
Yeah,
Okay.
the federal government says, no, you don't establish any universities. What I don't know is whether it affects only the federal universities.
No, they get their licenses. Everybody gets licenses from the
NUC, I agree. Then they could still say those who are doing private could still do. But I don't know whether it's a
I think
bandwagon
it cuts
effect.
across.
I don't know. Maybe I'm one of those who support the ban, because come to think of it, when you look at the quality of graduates that are being turned out now, you maybe want to overhaul the educational system before you begin to think of.
Not all of them.
Well, yeah, I
Not
know
all of them.
you're going to argue for your university.
No, there are exceptions.
Yes.
There are exceptions.
Yeah, Great Uniben is one of the exceptions. If that's where you're
all
going.
of us will do that.
There are great universities
Like
now.
Great Uniben. They call it Great
I agree with you.
You have
agree with you.
Unilag, Ife, Ibadan,
First generation
Covenant
universities.
University.
Can you please mention Great Uniben before you begin to list all these?
If it doesn't, we'll move on. If it doesn't, we'll move on.
No, okay, let's look at this now. This, this issue of xenophobia. And
Exactly. I was just looking at it too.
In South Africa and all that, anti-immigrant protests, South Africans target Nigerians, others call for stricter border. Actually, I don't know what the story is all about, but just,
This
story keeps reoccurring and all
it is still the gathering move against immigrants, whatever their countries are. You might call Trump a throwback to the days when open hostility towards your neighbor was a gentleman's recreation. But the truth is that all over the world, people are now beginning to check the number of people coming into their countries. It's happening because the resources are wearing thin, whatever the country is. They're just guarding jealously what isn't limitlessly supplied, forever. But in the case of South Africa, I don't like the seeming acid they pour into the process, because, call it petty, I was one of those who said, how could South Africa do this against Nigerians? Remember that one of the things that shook Britain and they stopped supporting apartheid South Africa was that we nationalized the Shell that time, BP that time, to express our angst, our annoyance over their supporting apartheid South Africa. And it effectively led to, the independence they eventually got, So it's always been there. And I think that at a point, even Nigeria will begin to check who crosses the border into our country.
All right,
with a lot of insecurity now that we have.
Yeah, because you see this one, abductors of Kwara church worshippers demand 1 billion naira ransom. That's just one.
They are jokers.
You see the other one, which talks about Kebbi, gunmen ambush troops, kill 9 soldiers and 1 policeman.
Yes. And I say, a soldier will tell you, I have a job to do. I don't have to engage in a media war with the people I am fighting. I disagree. Strategic communication now requires you to try to upstage whatever your enemy is arranging against you. They too should join the media war. When they do these things, it is not necessarily true that they are becoming ungovernable, they are uncontrollable, our troops, they've overwhelmed our troops. No. Sometimes they do that to create the impression that we still the ground, It's psychological as well. So when these things happen, we should highlight the successes our troops are having.
The role of the media in all this is so vital.
Very important. Very important. You see, however truthful, factual you are as a journalist, love of country should never be diminished by your zeal.
You said so yesterday.
I said so.
So let me thank you very much.
That tells you I'm a man of truth.
Let me thank you.
I say the same things almost every day.
You've
Man
earned
of
your pay.
integrity.
I wish you a great day.
Yeah, worry you.
We'll see you again tomorrow.
He's always at my throat on this program.
We'll see you again tomorrow, Chukwudi.
Have a nice day,
Our
Vicky boy.
conversation
why you are
on
not winning?
the panel
Because you
report
people are always jealous.
on the investigations of allegations against the Nigerian Correctional Service begins after this break. Please stay with us.